One of the most common questions I get is how do you rank in Google for your print-on-demand design? So I'm going to try to break it down in this video. I want to point out, just as we jump in, the Google algorithm is really complicated. I'm not claiming to be an expert in it any more than anyone else. I don't work for Google. I don't work for Redbubble. However, that having been said, I do have some tips and tricks in this video on how you can increase your chances of getting ranked in Google for your print-on-demand designs. Let's jump in. Okay, so Google works pretty straightforward. Now, the algorithm itself is complicated, but here's the way it works. I'm going to break it down. We've got human beings searching, and when they click on a website and then they find an answer and they click on that website, that's like a point. Okay, that's worth something to the Google algorithm. Now, if they stay on the website, that's also worth some sort of point. So Google really cares if the human being is searching for a search term and then likes what they find. They stay on the website. Okay, so let's take a look at an example here. I'm on Google and I'm going to type in Canada Day Toronto, and this now gives me back results. Gives me back over 1 billion results in less than half a second. And I can see here Canada Day in Toronto. Now, Google doesn't know what I'm searching for. It doesn't know if I'm looking for t-shirts, if I'm looking for meetups or news. It has no idea. So it's trying its best to give me back search results. You notice there's no shirts or anything listed in here. However, if I go to Canada Day Toronto t-shirt, it now changes the results to include, and you'll see here Redbubble's right near the top. There's some images, but then there's also Canada Day shirts on Redbubble. So I'm going to open up this now in a new tab, Canada Day t-shirts on Redbubble. You'll notice there's a screaming beaver here. There's a maple leaf flag, a couple red t-shirts. When I look on Redbubble, you'll see the first result here is the screaming beaver t-shirt, which is this one. But look at this one here in the middle. This red one that says Canada established, that's not near the top. When I scroll down, where is it? I keep scrolling. And about 2/3 of the way down the page, here's the t-shirt that says Canada established 1867. So it certainly is not the top ranking search result in Redbubble. So, what's going on here? Redbubble search and Google search must be different because the search results are a tiny bit different. And I can say here as well, Google's probably trying to give you a sampling of what's on this page. So this may be picking t-shirts at random. However, I don't think so. So I Googled Canada Day t-shirt in addition to Canada Day Toronto t-shirt, and you'll see the results now are slightly different. Under Canada Day t-shirt, we have a match, and then we don't have a match. That's slightly different. It's moved the Canada shirts around. This one's got like a pride flag on it, but there's no pride flag under the one here. The one down below says Great Day for Hay. The one up there doesn't. So I don't know if this is randomized, or I don't know if Google is thinking these images are somehow related greater to Canada Day Toronto versus Canada Day. Google is really complicated, and I'm going to give you some tips in this video on how you can increase your chances, but nothing's guaranteed. I do want to point out as well that if you do this exact same search, you may get slightly different results or even radically different results. And the reason is cookies. And what happens is when you're on a website, the computer remembers what website you're on. So I did this search under my own account. I'm in a private window right now where I've logged out of everything, and it gives me this result here, Canada Day t-shirts. However, when I logged in under myself with my unique search history, it actually gave me back slightly different results. So I do want to point out, if you're getting different results than this, it may be because the computer's remembering your previous search history and using that to factor in as well. Okay, so look, at the end of the day, you could spend hours, days, weeks trying to learn how Google SEO, which is search engine optimization, works. At the end of the day, though, I've got some tips. If you want to have a life instead, this is what I do, this is what I've done, and this totally works. So here's some tips. I've got 5 tips. Number 1, you want to pick low competition niches. If you pick funny cat, there's 18 billion results, and the chances of you ranking high in Google is just super low. It's insanely low. You might as well go buy a lottery ticket and win the Powerball. Even if you had the greatest design in the world, you're probably not going to break through in Google. Now, it could happen. I don't want to say I'm Mr. Negative, but chances are you want to pick a low competition niche to try to maximize your chance that if someone's searching for that actual search term, you would actually find it. Tip number 2, you want to max out your tags. What I would recommend you do is go into Redbubble, search for a search term, and then go to the top trending result on Redbubble and see what the actual tags in the design are. I'm not saying you have to max out your tags. Yes, there are designs that are ranking high in search that don't have all their tags maxed out, but it increases your chances because those tags sit on the website, and if someone's searching for it and they click on your design, Google could match them up and score you higher in the algorithm. The third tip I've got is to include your actual shop name in your tags. If you're on Google and you search for a design, often the design will come up with the shop name. And if that's the case, you're like entrenched in search, and that's a good thing. Sometimes people will search for your shop name. Sometimes people will search for the design and your shop name will come up. If somebody finds a great design, they may remember your shop name. Not saying it'll happen all the time, but you want to increase your chances of that happening. Tip number 4, you want to increase your chances of search by having your title and your description and your tags all include the same thing. So for example, if you're using funny cat design, which is a really popular niche, but let's give that a try. You want to have funny cat in your title. You want to have funny cat somewhere in your description. And then you want to have funny cat listed as one of your tags as well. Now look, you can do all these things and still not rank in Google search. And the reason is because Google search cares about one thing and one thing only: human beings clicking on useful links. How do they define useful? The human being has clicked on the link and stayed on the result that they've clicked on. So this is the last tip, and it's the most important tip. Create great looking designs. If somebody clicks on your design and they don't like it and they click away, that's it. It doesn't matter how well your tags are. It doesn't matter how well your description is. Your design must attract and retain the consumer's attention. That is how Google and Redbubble will recognize that your design is worth looking at. Now look, Redbubble looks at favorites and sales. Google looks at clicks and retention. Now you want to maximize all of that by having great looking designs. Now I've got a bonus tip for you as well. I always like to give you something extra, right? You know me. If you find a low competition niche, the bonus tip is to be first in the space, or at least be early in the space. If you've got 30, 40, 50 designs in that space, chances are, all of the things being equal, that the first design in will have the most clicks, the most retention, because it's just been there the longest. So this is what I mean about being entrenched in search. That's the goal. And if you're first in the space, that's a great thing. So if you're looking at trending designs, for example, don't delay. Get a couple designs up. Even if they're average, you could rank in Google because you're first in the space. I hope you found that helpful. As always, I'd love to hear your comments down below. This is the method I use. So I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. I'm saying this is how I've gotten success in print on demand using those 5 tips, plus my bonus tip as well. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Here's another video on how you can supercharge your Redbubble and print on demand experience.